I knew something was wrong the second the ground shook. I stepped outside, and froze. My field looked like it had been hit by a tank. Deep, torn-open tire trenches. My fence twisted sideways. Water blasting into the morning air from a shredded irrigation line. And right in the middle of all that destruction, an SUV sat there, engine ticking, headlights cutting through the wreck like it was proud of the damage it caused. My heart dropped. This wasn't an accident. This was a violation. Then I heard it. Crunch, crunch, slow, deliberate footsteps on gravel behind me. I turned. Karen. Walking up like a villain entering her final scene, sunglasses low, arms crossed, chin raised, that smirk that tells you she's about to twist reality into her own delusion. She didn't look at the destruction. Didn't look at the broken fence. Didn't look at the water spraying everywhere. She pointed at me. "You're harassing me," she said. "Touch my SUV and I'll call the HOA. And the police. And anyone else who actually has authority here. Authority. On my farm." And then another HOA car rolled up behind her, slow, silent, like backup arriving for a coordinated takedown. That's when it hit me. This wasn't parking. This wasn't confusion. This was an invasion. And the moment she smirked at me over that destroyed field, something inside me snapped clean. If Karen wanted a war, she picked the wrong damn farm. But let me start at the beginning. Before we dive in, let me know where you're listening from today. My farm has been here longer than the pavement, longer than the rooftops lined up beside it, longer than the HOA that sprouted like mold on the edge of my land. This place is old, quiet, personal, the kind of ground that holds history in its roots. And lately, it's been treated like a target. Karen was the first crack in the piece. The night she drove her SUV into my field, her headlights sliced across the barn like she was searching for something she already owned. She didn't pause. Didn't ask. She drove in deep, tires grinding into soil my family spent decades shaping, carving fresh scars right across it. Then she stepped out, slow, smug, satisfied, with that look people get when they think your boundaries are optional. Warnings. She laughed in my face. Notes. She crumpled them and tossed them onto my porch. Respect. She walked right over it. But she wasn't alone. HOA cars drifted behind her like shadows, engines low, windows cracked, eyes locked on my field. They didn't say a word. They didn't have to. They were studying. Measuring. Waiting. It didn't feel like a parking issue. It felt like the start of a takeover. And deep in my gut, I knew Karen's SUV was just the first move in something much bigger coming straight for my land. Karen didn't just keep parking in my field, she pushed deeper every day, like she was probing for the exact moment I'd break. Her SUV plowed fresh trenches through my soil, snapped a section of my irrigation line clean in half, and blocked the only path to my tractor shed. It wasn't carelessness. It was damage. When I told her she was trespassing, she gave me that slow, practiced smile, the kind people wear right before they lie to your face. "I have historical easement rights," she said, twirling her keys like a badge of authority she didn't have. "Then, and if you keep harassing me, I'll report you." Report me. On my own land. The next day she didn't just park, she claimed the space. Her SUV was shoved so close to my barn door I could smell the engine heat. When I walked out, she was already leaning against the hood, arms crossed, sunglasses dropped just enough for me to see the smug challenge in her eyes. A slow HOA car rolled past behind her, crawling by like a witness. This wasn't parking. This was a line being drawn. And she wanted me to step over it. Karen didn't stop with her own SUV. By the next week, reinforcements arrived, HOA members piling into my field like they owned it. Engines roared, tires gouged the soil deeper, irrigation lines snapped with a hiss of escaping water, and trash littered the ground, soda cans, wrappers, plastic chairs, trophies of their audacity. Every pass left scars that would take weeks, maybe months, to repair. One board member leaned out the window, laughing, "You should be grateful, this increases your property value." I tried the legal, simple solution, cones across the entrance. She didn't even glance at them. Karen pushed them aside, revved her engine, and slid her SUV into the heart of the field, like planting a flag. Others followed, fanning out, cameras in hand, recording everything. The damage wasn't minor anymore. The noise, the scraping metal, the scent of upturned earth, it all pressed in, relentless. And as I stood there, counting the irrigation breaks, the deep tire ruts, the trash, I realized the truth: this wasn't parking anymore. This was an invasion. And it was just getting started. I snapped. Months of ruts, broken irrigation lines, trash piles, and Karen's smirk finally cracked something in me. So I built the one thing that could match her disrespect: a full-size medieval-style counterweight catapult. Engineered. Balanced. Legal. Classified as farm equipment for moving heavy debris. Reinforced beams. Weighted sling. Cables that hummed under tension. I posted warnings everywhere. Do not park here. Vehicles will be removed. I thought even Karen would take the hint. She didn't. At sunrise, her SUV rolled into my field again, carving a fresh wound through the soil. She parked right beside the catapult like she was daring me to use it. Stepped out slow. Arms crossed. Sunglasses low. That infuriating smirk stretched wide across her face. Neighbors gathered at the edge of the HOA lawns, whispering, phones out, eyes locked on the machine and the woman taunting it. The ropes creaked. The counterweight groaned. My hand tightened on the release lever. Karen laughed at the warning signs. But this time, the rules weren't optional, and the consequence was already loaded. The moment had arrived. I gripped the release lever. The catapult groaned under the counterweight like a beast ready to spring. Neighbors held their breath at the edge of the HOA lawns, phones raised, eyes wide. Karen leaned against her SUV, smirk still mocking, completely unaware of the storm about to hit. Then I let go. The ropes sang. The counterweight swung with a metallic roar. Tires spun. The SUV lifted, slow at first, then soaring like a cannonball, tracing an impossible arc through the morning light. Dirt sprayed like fireworks. Leaves scattered. The vehicle landed squarely in the dirt cushion I'd built, skidding, tires up, total chaos, yet no one hurt. Not a scratch on any person, animal, or neighbor. Sirens shrieked moments later. Police arrived, officers rushing across the field. I handed over permits, video evidence, repair receipts, and every documented warning ignored. Every claim, every violation, every act of defiance, in black and white. Karen's smirk vanished. The HOA shuffled, stammered, scrambling under the weight of the law. Trespassing. Property damage. Reckless endangerment. Fines. Official warnings. My field was quiet again. Tires pressed into the soil only as memory. The message was crystal clear: this land, these rules, my authority, respected, unshakable, and legally ironclad. The field finally exhaled. No SUVs. No fresh tire ruts. No hovering HOA members daring to step 1 foot onto my land. The grass swayed in the breeze, sunlight catching each blade like it was bowing in respect. The catapult sat silent, a monument to defiance, its shadow stretching across the soil, a warning and a story rolled into one. From the edge of their lawns, neighbors nodded quietly, small smiles passing between them. They knew who had stood tall. They knew what had happened. Karen. She never came back. The empty, calm field was punishment enough, a reminder that audacity has limits. I walked the land slowly, feeling every inch reclaimed. Every ignored warning, every trespass, every insult, every tire rut, it had led to this. The land was mine. The authority was mine. The respect was mine. And as I turned to the catapult, letting sunlight glint off its steel frame, one thought rang clear. This is my farm. My rules. My victory. And no one will ever forget it.